When it comes to action RPGs, I can't get enough of them. I have played several of them, and I like how we are seeing more and more great ones being ported from the PC to home consoles. The big notable one that we saw was Diablo 3 when it came to current generation systems. When I played Diablo 3 on the PC, it felt like it would have been a really nice fit for a controller, especially with its streamlined approach. I was also happy to see Titan Quest make its way to current generation systems, as this is a great game that deserves more love and more exposure. And on the indie side of things, Van Helsing is a fun action RPG that takes inspiration from many of the great ones to make something both familiar and fun. This brings us to the recent release of Torchlight 2, which is getting another chance to shine, and if you're a fan of action RPGs, you either know about this one, or if you haven't, I recommend that you do check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my review for Torchlight 2. I feel like I could sum up this review in just a few words. Torchlight 2 is extremely addictive and released at a good price with a great value. As I continued to play through the game, I struggled to find stuff to talk about with the game. The issues I had were minor overall, and I kept just saying to myself that this game is just so damn fun. Picking up Torchlight 2 and playing it for the first time, I found myself immediately at home with how the controls worked, along with the gameplay loop it was presenting. In all honesty, the action here is very similar if you've played any of the Diablo games or other solid action RPGs. And Torchlight 2 still manages to grab you if you're a fan of this genre. And this is to be expected, considering that many ex-Diablo developers made this game. I'm a big fan of Diablo 3, especially when it was released on home consoles. It provides great value with a streamlined system of prior Diablo games. Torchlight looks similar to Diablo 3 in its visual style, but the gameplay and systems feel more like they're planted in the realm of Diablo 2, rather than the streamlined approach of Diablo 3. I do want to stress that this game is very addictive. I found myself continually wanting to come back to this game night after night to level up my character and obtain more loot. The rewards are there, and they are plentiful. I usually wait till the end of my review to provide you with my final assessment on the game, but I might as well say it here. I highly recommend this one. Now that I got my hyperbolic description of the game out of the way, let me provide you with some of the detail here. Torchlight 2 features a very simple story with very inviting but familiar environments. The initial cutscene sets up the objective of the game, essentially stop the bad guy. While the narrative is not bad, I would describe it as more light narrative to complement the action, but not the main focus. What does do a good job at selling the worlds are the monsters you fight along with the environments that you explore. The game is very colorful and visually inviting. I also enjoyed how it played with mixing different things together, like the sand level being a mix of Egyptian inspiration and having that mix with mechs and machines. The forest level is a thing of beauty, and I usually enjoyed the levels there. But the story and visuals are really just there to assist the solid gameplay. At its core, Torchlight provides you with many environments, and your job is to explore them, complete quests, and destroy anything you come across. The game features 4 different character classes for you to choose from. The 4 character classes are the Engineer, the Outlander, the Berserker, and the Ember Mage. The Engineer provides you with a melee-focused fighter that can summon allies to attack for him. The Outlander is a range-based fighter. The Outlander uses different bows and guns while in combat, combat. The Berserker is a melee fighter who can summon animals to aid him. And lastly, the Ember Mage is Torchlight's spellcaster. Each of these classes provide you with a lot of different variety in how you want to tackle the game, while also providing a load of replay value in trying and experimenting with the different classes. What further enhances the replay value is how within each of the classes themselves there's a large amount of customization and how you level them up. On the surface level, the 4 classes provide that variety, but it goes deeper with their skills. As you play the game, you may even find yourself trying different skills or even deciding on how you want to use your character. I spent most of my time with the Outlander as I was looking for something with range-based combat. I very much enjoyed the combat within the game. Whether I was firing my guns or smashing someone with my melee weapons, it was always satisfying. A lot of this has to do with the extremely gory and bloody deaths that come from combat. The visual style makes the game look like a peaceful fantasy, but once you're in combat, it's anything but that. On top of the gore-filled combat, the rewards from defeated enemies keeps the action moving at a great pace. As you defeat enemies and complete quests, you will earn experience points. When you gain a level, you will earn a skill point, along with being able to improve some of your character's stats. It is completely up to the player where they spend their skill points, along with where they decide to increase their stats. Each of the characters essentially have different trees for you to choose from for you to focus on. Experience is not the only thing you will be earning. As you defeat harder foes, you will earn fame from those enemies. Fame has its own experience bar, and as you level up in Fame, you will earn an additional skill point to use on your character. I like to look at Fame as providing some extra progression, and it pops up from time to time. One thing I wanted to note is how the game feels balanced with how you earn your levels in the campaign. In some action RPGs, it feels like you earn several level ups at the start of the game at a really fast rate. But then it slows down. With Torchlight 2, it feels like I'm earning new levels at a good rate. This greatly plays into the game having great forward momentum and motivation to continue playing. On top of all of this, you have the loot. This is another area I need to praise Torchlight on. I felt like I was continually earning better loot, and it didn't take long till I had a new piece of armor or something better to use as one of my weapons. Even if you found items that didn't fit your playstyle, I always felt like I was earning something, and I could always take those items back to the shops to sell them for gold. As you explore the different maps, the game will provide you with more loot opportunities with many enemies to fight, and these extra chests that you need to find keys to be able to open them to be able to get extra rewards. Along with this, the game likes to reward you with gold, whether you are exploring or defeating enemies. Gold can be used to assist you in many different ways. What I am trying to get at is that through the leveling up, the fame, and loot, you are earning large amounts of rewards at a good rate that keep you coming back to this game. If you haven't found a good set of loot, you might be close to leveling up, or vice versa. You are always earning something, and you feel like you are always progressing. For me, I find this to be a huge part that separates the good action RPGs from the great ones, and Torchlight definitely fits in the boat of being a great one. The game gives you the main missions as a focus point for your action, but with each new map, you will have a bunch to explore and find. In addition, you will come across different side quests that you can then do for more rewards. These might involve saving some civilians or completing extra dungeons that involve fighting extra bosses. I also enjoyed the boss fights within the game. Many of these were your typical big encounters, but some of them had some different things going on with them. One in particular had these automatic guns that I could not damage, so I had to figure out how to contend with the guns and defeat the boss. One last bit of choice is how the game asks you to choose a pet that will assist you throughout the game. Your pet can also learn different spells like summoning other allies to aid you. This is a nice feature, and I liked how I had a dog as my ally throughout the whole game. The endgame consists of doing New Game Plus, along with a map mode that will provide you with previous maps with some changes to them. I absolutely love my time with Torchlight 2, but I do need to mention a few areas that I hope will get patched. A small one was how I found it a bit odd to aim with my ranged weapons. I felt like I couldn't be as precise as I wanted to with my basic attacks. Sometimes the game would get confused and target something close to what I wanted, but not my exact target. But my main big issue with the game is the lack of local same-screen co-op options. When I look at Torchlight's competitors, I see a lot of really good action RPGs that provide this feature. I feel like this is a necessity considering it's now released on home consoles. This was an issue I had with the console release of Titan Quest, and then the game later patched in to be able to have local co-op. I really hope that this can be done here as well, because when it comes to flaws, I don't really have much for this game, and Torchlight is loads of fun. Torchlight 2 is a great action RPG that gets an opportunity to be exposed to a new audience when it's released on the PS4, Xbox, and Switch. It has extremely addictive progression that is paired with great action. This is a game that provides a lot of value and customization. There's a lot to love here. I do hope that it receives a patch in the future that adds local co-op play, but even with that feature missing, I highly recommend you play this game.